The UFC is not ready for this guy. Mica Galvão is the next generation submission master, and when he makes the jump to MMA, the game will never be the same. This kid has been putting black belts to sleep since he was a teenager, and his grappling is so slick, so technical, and so deadly that even the best in the world struggle to survive against him.
Going around to the back, both will be it, and that's it!
If you haven't heard of him yet, don't worry, you will. Because Mica Galvão isn't just good, he's a problem. And when he steps into the cage, he could be the most dangerous ground fighter the UFC has ever seen. Born in Manaus, Brazil, Mica Galvão was practically built for combat. His father, Mica Galvão, was not only a decorated BJJ and luta livre black belt, but also an anti-kidnapping squad officer. Fighting? It runs in the family, and it started early. At just 4 years old, Mica was already stepping onto the mats, and by 10, he wasn't just training BJJ. He was mastering luta livre, judo, and freestyle wrestling. But what set him apart wasn't just his training, it was his mindset. By the time he was 15, Mica was doing things no other teenager could. Most fighters take a decade or more to earn a black belt. Mica? He did it in just 3 years. Promoted in 2021 at only 17 years old, he wasted no time proving he belonged. He didn't just beat black belts, he ran through them, stacking highlight reel submissions like it was a video game. Whether it was GI, no-gi, or submission-only events, Mica was finishing guys left and right. The Abu Dhabi Grand Slam, he won it. The IBJJF No-gi Pan Championship, another gold medal. Third Coast Grappling, he submitted 3 black belts in one night. And here's the scary part, he's still getting better. Of course, no legend's story is complete without a setback. In 2022, Mica won the IBJJF World Championship, but after testing positive for a banned substance, he was stripped of the title and hit with a 1-year suspension. Critics doubted him, but true champions don't stay down. Since then, he's been training harder, sharpening his game, and setting his sights on even bigger goals. Now, as he prepares for the future, one question remains. When will Mica Galvão make his MMA debut? Because when he does, the UFC might not be ready for the storm that's coming. February 2022, Galvão stamped his ticket to the biggest grappling stage in the world, the ADCC Submission Fighting World Championship. He bulldozed through the Brazilian trials, submitting 5 out of 6 opponents. April 2022, BJJ Stars 8 Middleweight GP. This wasn't just another tournament, this was a war against some of the best black belts in the game. Galvão went through multiple-time world champions like Leandro Lo and Lucas Hulk Barbosa, finishing Barbosa with a slick bow and arrow choke in the final. June 2022. At just 18 years old, Galvão made history as the youngest ever IBJJF world champion. His final opponent, Tai Ruotolo, his performance, legendary. But that title would later be stripped after a positive test for clomiphene, setting back his rise, but only temporarily. At the 2022 ADCC World Championship, he still proved he belonged among the elite, taking silver after wins over Dante Leon, Renato Canuto, and Oliver Taza, only falling to Cade Ruotolo in the final. January 2023, Mica and his father Melky split from Fight Sports to form their own BJJ affiliation. A new era began. March 2023. 9 months off from gi competition? No problem. Galvão returned at the Abu Dhabi Grand Slam Tour in London and took gold in the welterweight division. Then, on April 1st, he headlined Majestic BJJ 3, submitting Alexandre de Jesus to claim the promotion's 83-kilogram title. He was moving differently. He was on a mission. Later that month, he entered the BJJ Stars 10 Absolute Grand Prix. A tough road awaited. He took out Otavio Nalati on points and won his quarterfinal against Kainan Duarte after a DQ. But in the semis, an injury took its toll. A torn MCL sidelined him for months, slowing his momentum, but not stopping his ambition. Getting value from this? Subscribe now to stay updated. Back in April 2023, the IBJJF stripped Galvão of his 2022 world title after a USADA test revealed he had clomiphene in his system, a banned substance. But before you jump to conclusions, here's the full story. USADA itself acknowledged that the positive test came from a prescribed medication, taken in a therapeutic dose under a doctor's supervision. The problem? Galvão didn't apply for a therapeutic use exemption. A small clerical misstep led to a 1-year suspension starting July 22, 2022. But for Mica, this wasn't a career setback. It was just fuel for the fire. Once his suspension ended, Galvão wasted no time proving he was still a force to be reckoned with. He returned in July 2023 at the CBJJE São Paulo Open, securing gold in the medium heavyweight division. Just a week later, he dominated the IBJJF Vitória Open, winning gold in both the GI and no-gi categories. He continued his relentless pace at the IBJJF Floripa Winter Open in August, again securing double gold. And then came Who's Number 1? Night of Champions. October 1st, 2023. A 4-man tournament, 1 welterweight title, and Mica Galvão standing victorious after submitting both of his opponents. But he wasn't done yet. November 19th, he took home another no-gi gold at the IBJJF São Paulo Open. On November 30th, he made his first WNO welterweight title defense against Cody Steele, sealing the victory with a textbook rear naked choke. And without missing a beat, he called out Nicky Ryan for his second title defense, set for February 9th, 2024. At just 20 years old, Mica Galvão is proving that his ground game is a level above the rest. From his lightning-fast transitions to his suffocating pressure, he is a nightmare matchup for anyone in the grappling world. And with rumors swirling about a potential move to MMA, the question isn't if he'll dominate the UFC mats, it's when. At the start of 2024, he made a bold move, announcing his jump to middleweight after defending his Who's Number 1 welterweight title. And just days later, on January 27th, he proved he belonged, storming through the IBJJF European Championship and taking home gold in his new weight class. Then came WNO 22. Originally set to face Nicky Ryan, Galvão instead took on Kenta Iwamoto after a last-minute opponent switch. The result? Another dominant submission win, another title defense, business as usual. March 24th, IBJJF Pan Championship, another gold. May 10th, he was supposed to defend his WNO title against Tommy Langaka, but had to withdraw due to injury. But that setback, it didn't slow him down. Just a few weeks later, on June 1st, Galvão stepped back onto the biggest stage in the GI competition, the IBJJF World Championship. And once again, he dominated, winning the lightweight division and completing an IBJJF Grand Slam for 2024. But Galvão wasn't done. 2025? The takeover continues. Next up, BJJ Stars 15 on April 26th, where he's set to enter the middleweight no-gi Grand Prix. Mica Galvão isn't just racking up wins, he's redefining what's possible in Jiu-Jitsu. The UFC? They're not ready for him. But when he decides to make the jump, the game is going to change. With a resume like this, there's only one question left. What happens when Mica Galvão finally steps into an MMA cage? We've seen what happens when elite jiu-jitsu transfers to the UFC. Oliveira, Maia, Burns. But Galvão? He's different. He's methodical, aggressive, and levels ahead in the submission game. And there you have it. Mica Galvão isn't just a future MMA star. He's a grappling revolution waiting to happen. When he finally steps into the UFC, the game will never be the same. But what do you think? Is Mica the next submission king of MMA? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you don't miss any future deep dives into the rising stars of combat sports. Thanks for watching, and we will catch you in the next one.